Now, I've got a super exciting video for you today, guys, as we're going to be looking at the single most underrated and overlooked deck in the game at the moment, and that is Tempo Forestcraft. Now, I love this deck. I'd actually never hit Diamond before using this deck, and now I've managed to hit Diamond 4 different times. And not only that, but I'm getting crazy streaks as well in Master Diamonds. Like, I think my best streak is like an 8-game win streak or something. It's totally nuts. And then the icing on the cake is that I actually won my first weekend lobby tournament last week with this deck. It's so strong. Nobody talks about it. People talk about ROACH and stuff occasionally, but you never really see Tempo Forestcraft on the ladder or people having a conversation about it. So just wanted to share this with you guys. I've got 3 amazing games to show you today, but before we get stuck in, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We just hit 1k subs and we're growing really, really fast, so super good to see. But yeah, let's check the games out. So first off, we are starting with the final of the weekend lobby tournament, and this was against another Forestcraft player. And as soon as I saw Forestcraft, I just knew it was going to be ROACH because, as I've said, no one else seems to play Tempo, so I was expecting it to be ROACH. And I actually find ROACH surprisingly difficult as a Tempo Forest player. I always assumed it would be quite an easy matchup because they're trying to kill you on turn 8 or turn 9. I'm trying to kill them before that. They don't have any healing. They don't have any wards. I just figured it shouldn't be that difficult to kill them, but the issue I have is that this deck wants to win by putting down a lot of fairies, buffing them up, and just hitting them with a lot of 1/1s. And what's a good way to destroy a 1/1 fairy? Well, your own 1/1 fairy. And a lot of the time, I often win games just by getting down an incredibly big fair board early. So 4 or 5 2/2 fairies just buffed up to the absolute maximum really early on. But you can't do that against Forestcraft because they're just going to use their own fairies and tickle your board down, and it's really, really difficult to make that happen early on. Which is why you can see I actually chose to trade with the Carbuncle rather than just leading the fairies in hopes that I can buff them up, because I'm actually scared of him dealing damage to me as well, because I'm Forestcraft, I don't have any healing, and any damage you take against ROACH, if you can't heal and if you don't have wards, is terrifying, because it might bring the turn forward that they can kill you. Like, if you go down to 13, 14 HP, that is really, really easy to combo you down from. Despite all this being the case, I was not deterred. It was the first time I'd went 3-0 in the tournament and had a chance to get that 4th win and get that crown on my head, and I was not going to give up. I was utterly locked in at this point. And even though I wasn't super happy with my hand either, like, I've got ROACH in there and I've got Odin, but I don't really have much in the way to use ROACH with. Like, there's not a whole lot of materials there to get a big ROACH damage combo off, which was a little bit upsetting, but still, you know, you never give up. And you know, I'm watching him do the typical dickery buggery dance that ROACH does, where they're juggling stuff around, preparing for the combo turn, and I'm thinking we're getting pretty deep into the game at this point. I need to make something happen. Like, I can't just sit there with my thumb up my ass waiting to draw area or something. I actually need to do something to start winning now. And so I decide, fuck it, we're just going all in. Just dump my hand on the board, I buff it with Fae, I get as much damage in as I possibly can, and I just say, mate, fucking deal with that, and if you can't, then I'm taking this game. And you know, it's obviously a heart of the card situation as well, because I don't actually have what I need in my hand to win either, so I need to hope that I draw something that's going to get the rest of his HP down as well, because that alone isn't going to win me the game. And in typical Forestcraft dickery buggery fashion, he does his little juggly bullshit, he plays bloody Carbuncle and manages to clear the board, and he gets some damage in with his ROACH, and he gets it back in his hand. So I know he has the ROACH as well. I know the ROACH is there. I know he will kill me with it when he gets the opportunity, so it's even scarier in that regard. But alas, we cannot afford to delay, and so we throw our Odin at his face to get in as much damage as possible, and we just pray that he doesn't have what he needs in his hand to combo his next turn, whilst also praying that we actually draw something that can kill him with, because yeah, it's not looking great. Now luckily for us, he cannot kill us, but what he does do is draw with Glade, and so I am certain at this point that next turn he has enough cards, he is going to kill me, he has the extra player point. I'm terrified. Something needs to happen now. For the love of God, someone help me. And in the ultimate act of divine intervention, someone hears my call and gives me Glade, which I play into a ROACH, which I then put down for exact lethal. How is that for a top deck? How is that for a way to win your first lobby tournament? Like, I was fucking chuffed with that, man. That is such a sick way to win the game. But yeah, that is just the start of it, because the next game is absolutely outrageous. I'd even go as far as saying this is probably the single best and craziest game of Tempo Forest I have ever played, and it is a Master Diamond against an Abysscraft player. I feel as though Tempo Forest is favoured against Abysscraft, but I couldn't really tell you why. I just know that generally I tend to win against Abysscraft, but it can get really difficult if the game goes up to turn 8 and they get Cerberus out. That's when you might be in trouble against this deck, because Cerberus is just an absolutely nuts card. Like, what the fuck? It does absolutely everything. Insane damage. Board clear, healing. It does everything. It does everything. But yeah, in this game, I'm pretty happy with my starting hand. I don't have Aria, which is a very important card for getting lethal. I don't have a Roach, but I do have Titania, which is really, really nice to play early. That extra fairy you get every turn really, really adds up. And of course, I've got Fae and I've got May, which is just fantastic. Like, having that removal, having that ability to build a board, and having that ability to buff the board early is the most integral part to winning with this deck, I feel. So here I go for the classic Fairy May combo for a big old tempo swing. Just an absolute beautiful play, always nice. Maybe not quite as useful against some other classes like Forestcraft, Havencraft or Runecraft, but still just a great play for everyone else, and especially against Abysscraft, which is so board centric. He responds with Filda, which is everyone's favourite little bastard of a 2-drop. We hate that evolve effect, it is so annoying and it does so much. But I respond with a super sneaky play here. I play my Titania and I use her Evo effect to morph the Filda. And this means whenever he tries to reanimate for 2, his Filda won't be in the pool, so he won't be able to get that. He'll often get fairies instead if he hasn't played another 2-drop. And there's little that's more annoying than someone playing a Sharon and then reanimating a Filda and evolving it to clear. Like, it's just so frustrating. So really nice play there that both gets rid of the evolved threat, but also dilutes his reanimation pool. And we both end up trading board clears here. He goes for Aragavi, I go for Glade, but Glade's lovely. Like, it's such a fucking good card, especially for a deck like Tempo Forest that often struggles with hand size. There's not much draw in this deck, so having Glade there is so nice. And then he comes out with Medusa, which is such a terrifying card, by the way. Take 2 gives me PTSD-style flashbacks. Like, the amount of times a Medusa's come down in Take 2 and I haven't been able to answer it because you have less options in Take 2. It's horrible. It's such a destructive card. Like, fuck you, weird snake woman. Now, you better be shocked in for this one because this is a certified big dick play. Just look at the beautiful size of that board, and then using the Bug Alert to get Fae back into my hand while knocking Medusa down into range of my Super Evolved Pixie. Get out of here. And now we can see my hard work earlier with Titania pay off as he plays his Sharon, and instead of getting a Filda, he gets 2 little fairies. Get fucked, mate. You can't clear me with that. Now, he does try his best, but unfortunately, he cannot get rid of that final 3/3 fairy, and that's massive for us. We are a deck that is constantly trying to push as much damage as possible and win as early as possible. And him being unable to deal with that means when I bring the Odin down, he ain't just taking 7 damage. No, he is taking a fat 10. And now he is really looking like he's in trouble. But he does have a single saving grace, which is that I do not have any more direct damage dealing cards in my hand, and I am out of evolves. Even if I draw an Aria, it's not going to be very useful. He follows up with a hell of a turn. He just rams his board full of wards, which just makes everything even more difficult. And the rotting zombie is the most annoying one, because you kill the rotting zombie, it comes back up, and so long as Sharon's on the board, it gets ward as well, again, a second time. So there's just so much to break through there. But I have drawn my answer. I have a Roach, but the question is, can I get lethal? Can I break through all of these wards and slap this gentleman on his silly little face with only 9 mana? Well, let me tell you, by using pretty much everything in my hand, we have done it. We have cleared every single unit on his board, and the Roach comes down as the very last card, breaking through and nailing him for lethal. Let's fucking go. That is seriously one of my favourite lethals ever. Everything fell into place. The Fae to buff the damage of the fairies to break the wards, including the reoccurring one from the rotting zombie. Just absolutely phenomenal. But with all that being said, I do have one more game for you guys, and this is the perfect example of when everything just goes completely right. And it's against a Master Diamond Swordcraft player, which just makes it all the more beautiful. But yeah, from the get-go, we can already see my hand is amazing. We've got 2 copies of May there, we've got loads of fairies, and we've got Fae. This is the dream hand against Swordcraft. And the fact he didn't have a Quick Blader on one was also really nice. Now, he makes the incredibly predictable Prim player, which can be quite difficult to deal with, but when you've got May in your hand, you just don't give a fuck. And just like clockwork, he plays Nonja not knowing what awaits him. I then do a little bit of stretching to warm my joints up before absolutely nailing him with the classic Fairy May combo. See you later, Nonja. And that leaves me with a fat board of 4 units, and I know I can get a decent Fae play off soon. Now, he might have sensed he's in danger here because he does his best to clear. He manages to get rid of 2 with the fairies, but to be honest, it's too little too late. And it's helped even more by me drawing into a water sprite, which allows me to get a full board of 5 buffed minions down. Just absolutely ludicrous. And he's going to drop all the way down to 13 health while still having a monstrous board to deal with. I don't even know if it's possible for him to deal with that on turn 5, to be honest. But he does do his best. He gets down another Prim and Nonja combo, probably because that is a ward, but he still leaves 4 of the units alive. And That is just a death wish waiting to happen right there. Like, there's no way he's going to come out of this unscathed. And surely enough, when my turn lands, I drop the Convocation, I throw down a fairy to clear the ward out the way, and I play the big man himself, the ROACH. And with the collective effort of all of the boys, we hit him directly in the mouth for the exact lethal. See you never. Well, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed taking this journey with me into the world of Tempo Forest. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you all a delightful day, and I say to you, good night, and God bless.